Hey everyone, Kelly Dean Allen here. Today, going to show you guys how to play the hard driving track Set Me Free by British glam rock legend Sweet. That is Sweet, not The Sweet. Now this is certainly an interesting one because you see many people consider this 1974 track to be the very first speed metal song, proto speed metal if you will. Now sure, there were other bands at the time ramping up the speed of their hard rock, the likes of Deep Purple, Queen, Judas Priest, and a little bit later on Motorhead and Accept. However, Sweet, a band who at times could rock with the best of them, were probably most well known for their lighter rock radio hits, the likes of Fox on the Run, Ballroom Blitz, Little Willie, and Love is Like Oxygen. But then, practically out of nowhere, came this absolute scorcher of a track from 1974's Desolation Boulevard album. A hard rock track faster than practically anything that came before it. I can only imagine that this likely blew more than a few minds back in 1974. Really good stuff. I would have been 10 and likely still addicted to ABBA at this point in my life. Regardless, let's close in here, learn how to play it, yeah? Alright then, Set Me Free and Sweet from 1974's Desolation Boulevard. We are in standard tuning for this tutorial, and this track starts with lots and lots of power chords, and we're going to start with a B power chord right here at the 7th fret position. We're going to hammer on this B power chord and slide out of it. And then you're going to do a 3 count and repeat that 4 times. 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. And then we're into these chromatic power chords. Right? So we're going to start at the 2nd fret F sharp power chord here, 3-finger power chords. We're going to go 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to back it up to a G at the 3rd fret and go 3, 4, 5. Back it up to 4 and then go 4, 5, 6. Right? So that is that power chord progression right there. 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 6. And then we drop into this. For 4 bars, we're just muting the strings, strumming the muted strings. After every 2 count, you're going to kind of grab a little double stop here on the 7s of the D and the G. Something like that, right? He's got a wah pedal on, whatnot, some effects, maybe some phaser as well. And leading into the first verse, we're going to drop back into these power chords again, but we're going to skip the first 6. We're not going to start on the F sharp with those 2 right there. We're going to start on the G right here at the 3rd fret. We're going to go 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 6, and then we're going to drop into the B at the 7th fret for the first verse. Right, now we're into the first verse where we're just riding this 7th fret of the low E string. We're kind of still holding the B power chord, right? But we're really only chugging on a palm muted 7th fret, that B note. Right? So you're going to ride that B note there for 4 bars. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. E, D, back to B. Right, so after 4 bars of that B, we're going to drop down to an E power chord, give it a quick little slam, and then just start riding that 7th fret of the A. Then move it off to D, do the same thing, hit the D power chord very briefly, and then just ride that 5th fret, right? So 4 bars of B. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. E, D, back to B. 2 bars, and now 4 more bars for the 2nd verse. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. E, D, B. And then we're into the chorus. Right, so we're going off to an E power chord at the neck position. We're going to strike it twice. We're going to do a quick little mute, and then we're going to drop into G. And hit that G twice. Move it up to A. Drop into E at the 7th fret position with a quick mute before you hit it. Right, and you repeat that twice. And then at the end of the chorus, you're going to drop off to D, let that D power chord ring, and then we're back into the power chords again. Second verse, 4 bars. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, E, D, B. Now the second verse is abbreviated, it's only half as long, so now we're going to jump right back into the chorus again. Back off to D, let it ring, and then there's a drum fill or some such thing, and then we're into this little melody line. Sounds like Iron Maiden, actually. 3rd fret of the B string, we're going to pick that, I don't know, 6 or 7 times. Going to pull it off, finally off to 2, and then you're going to do a quick little pull off from 4 to 2 of the G back onto 4. I think you're actually picking all those notes, it's not a pull off. You repeat that 3 times. And then after you repeat it 3 times, you're going to hammer on 3 to 5 of the B. Pick it first, and then you're going to hammer on to 5. And then do the same thing from the 2 to the 3. And then you're going to do a quick little pull off from 3 to 2 of the B, and then finish on the 4. So that whole sequence. Right? And then again, I think there's a little drum fill here, back into the power chords right from the very beginning, the F sharp. And then we're into the solo, and the solo is just over B, right? So this solo is very, very loose and kind of haphazardly played. It's got a phaser wash over the whole thing, and there's layered guitars. Really difficult to pick apart exactly what he's doing here, but I got it close. I've got it maybe 90, 95%, I suppose. We're soloing in the key of B minor using the B Dorian. So take your B minor pentatonic here at the 7th fret position, starting on the 9 of the D string. Right, your B minor pentatonic right there. Add these 9s in here on the B and the high E. Right, and that is the B Dorian. So I'm going to run through the solo first at a fairly relaxed pace, and then we'll dig into how to play it. So that's pretty much the solo right there. So we're starting here on the 7th fret of the A string. We're going to hammer on to 9, catch the 7 of the D on the upstroke. Right? And we're going to get that looping. We're going to repeat that 5 times. And then the final time you're going to do a double hit on that 7 of the D. Right? And then we're into these little chromatic runs. So we're going to go 7, 8, 9 of the A, 7, 8, 9 of the D. We're going to repeat that 3 times. However, the 3rd time we're going to double time it. Right? And then we're going to jump down to the G string, do the same thing. And then you're going to go 7, 9, 10 of the B. Right? Not double timed. And then when you drop onto that 10 of the B string, you're going to pick it like 8 to 10 times. Right, and then we're into this. So we're going to pull off from 10 off to 7 5 times, each time with a little mute in between. Kind of like that. Right, from the beginning. And then we're into these little sliding double stops. And we're going to do that 5 times. Everything in this solo is in groups of 5, it seems. So we're going to grab the 11 of the G, 10 of the B, pick it twice quickly, slide it up 2 spots and slide it back, and repeat 5 times. Right? And then we're into some more double stop work. Something like that. 9th fret G and B, off to a double stop on the 7s. Little downwards tug there, grab the 9 of the D. A couple of mutes and then repeat, right? Something like that. And then we're into this. Similar to the lick we started the solo with. That kind of lick, right? Now we're going from 9 to 12 of the D, catching the 9 of the G on the upstroke, and repeating, you guessed it, 5 times. Right? And then we're into this. Repeat it 5 times. 9 onto 11, 10 onto 12 of the B. Right? You repeat that 5 times. So from the beginning. And after you repeat that 5 times, right, that 9 to 11, 10 to 12, you know, it's quick, a lot quicker than what I'm playing it here. We're going to drop onto this 10 of the high E and pick it a whole bunch of times, like maybe 10 or 12 times. Kind of like that, right? And then we're getting into these little Dorian runs. So we're pulling off 10 to 9 to 7 of the high E, and then the same thing on the B string, and you repeat that 5 times. Right? Before finally dropping into a unison bend here on the 7 of the B and the 9 of the G. And you're going to kind of hang in that unison bend for a bit, and then we finish the solo with this. Right, so we're pulling off, similar look to what we played earlier, pulling off 7 off to 4 of the G. Right, a little mute in between again. And again, repeat it 5 times, I think. And then you're finally going to take that 4, slide it into 7, and then do a little trill between 7 and 9 to finish the solo. And that is how you play that solo. And so let's take it right from the top. And that's the solo, and then we're back into this. And we're going to repeat it twice at this point. And then you finally just drop onto that 4 of the G, let it ring, there's a big long drum fill, and then we're back into the chromatic power chord starting in F sharp. third verse, right? 4 bars. E, D, back to B, and then back into the chorus. Off to D, let it ring. Now at this point there's a little interlude, I suppose we can call it. It's not really a bridge, it's too close to the end of the song. But we're going to drop back into E, let it ring. Then off to G, let that ring. Back to E, back to G. And you're going to go to B and choke it off. And then there's going to be a drum fill, and then a bass fill, and then a guitar fill. But while we're over these chords, this E that's ringing, that's going off to G and repeating, right? That's what one guitar is doing. The other is doing this. So a little triad here at the 9th fret, D, G, and B string, right? Little E major triad. We're going to strike that. We're going to hammer onto this A over E chord, 11th fret of the D, 10th fret of the B. Kind of a funky little progression, right? You're going to pull that off to the bar twice. Move it up 3 spots. Repeat. And then you're going to grab that B power chord, choke it off. There's a big drum fill. We're going to hammer on this B power chord 5 times, move it off to A, move it back into B. Right? And now there's a bass fill. We're going to repeat this again. Now there's a guitar fill. It just does a little trill here between 7 and 10, drops the whammy bar back into this one final time. And then we're into the outro. So the outro is this. We're going to go back into this B, riding along on that for just 1 bar this time. And we're going to repeat that twice. B to A, to F sharp, back to A, back to B, back to A. Right? So 1 bar of riding this B, B, A, F sharp, A, B, A, B, A, F sharp, A, B, A, E. You're going to hit that E power chord, choke it off, and then drop into D, let that D ring right at the end of the track here. Last 2 chords, A, B, end of track. And that, my friends, is how you play Set Me Free by Sweet. Certainly hope you enjoyed the video, found it helpful, and if you did, please hit that like button right down there somewhere. Maybe drop me a subscribe if you haven't done that already, as that would be very kind and helpful to the growth of my little channel. Hope you're well out there in your little guitar corner of the world, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.